with the new Web3 model for WalletConnect. I'm here with Vanessa Mercado. We are full swag mode, so we can't fail this demo. Vanessa, welcome. Please introduce yourself, and then we just get our hands dirty.
Yeah, hi everyone. Thanks so much for having me today, Francesca. My name is Vanessa. I'm a developer advocate at WalletConnect, and today we're going to be learning how to use our Web3modal version 2, and yeah, let's get to it.
Amazing. So I see many people here. Hey, Graham. Hi, Jax. How's it going? Nice. Okay, so this series is called In Action because I'm sorry, Vanessa, this is not a podcast, so I can't interview you but we will just step into what we are doing today. I think I already shared the link, but I'll share it again. So we are currently at docs.walletconnect.com, and the important part is that it's 2.0, right?
Right, exactly. It's our newest version. And just to kind of, if you're not familiar with it, you want to see what we're going to be building. This is what we'll be building. So we're going to have this connect wallet button, and then we'll see this QR code, and we'll be able to sign in with scanning the QR code as well as using the MetaMask extension wallet.
Nice,
so we'll be doing
nice,
both.
nice,
So
perfect.
this is, and wanted to add, this is very, you can follow along. So we'll be creating a React app together. We'll be installing the dependencies and then adding a project ID, all the things.
Yes, absolutely. So we want to tell people that are in the audience that we are not coding smart contracts today. I think at least I think so. So we are basically on the front end part. So I think the only thing you need to follow along is to have npm, a node, and a wallet to follow along, and of course the WalletConnect account. Is it right? What do we need?
No, exactly. It's going to be very easy. So if you've never created a dApp before connecting to a wallet, this is the perfect guide for you. We won't be interacting with smart contracts on today's live stream, just to, again, keep it very easy and friendly for all new beginner developers.
Absolutely. So I think that technically this demo really, it lasts 5-10 minutes. So we will try to go slow, trying to explain what's going on. Feel free to drop all the questions you want, because we really want to do a walkthrough of what's going on here. Okay, so let's. I think we can start giving an introduction. I see this very cool documentation. And yes, so Vanessa, stage is yours. Just show me all the power of WalletConnect.
All right, so I won't be showing you all of the power WalletConnect has to offer, just because we will be focusing today just on Web3modal. So if you go to our documentation website, you'll be able to see you're getting started here. A few of the other products that we have. So you're probably familiar with the Sign API, all those things. But for today, we're just going to focus on Web3modal. So we click on that card, we'll be able to see that we have 3 different options of using Web3modal. And we can go over of what these all mean. So for today's tutorial, we'll be going through the React project. What this means is that it already has WAGMI integrated into the developer experience. So if you're already familiar with WAGMI hooks, this is great because it takes a lot of the setup process out for us. If you are not a React fan, you want to use a different front-end framework, then you want to use the HTML package. So if you're using Vue, perhaps Angular, this is your solution. And then for the developers who don't want to use WAGMI, who want to set up their own integrations for injected wallets, this will be your solution. This one is definitely involves a lot more for the setup. So we don't really recommend if you're a new developer starting with standalone. This is a little bit more for the experienced developers. So let's click on the React app. And yeah, so we'll basically kind of go through this. So first thing I'm going to do is open up my terminal. And I'm going to create a new React app. So we'll do npx create React app, and we can call this Web3modal. We'll put live stream. So this will take probably a couple of moments for this to fully load.
Nice.
But while
Okay.
that's loading, we can take a look at the dependencies.
Yes, let's take a look at the dependencies. I think there are some here. So I see Web3modal, Ethereum, Web3modal, Ethereum. So this is so we are coding on the Ethereum blockchain. So here I see Web3modal React. So this is the module for the React application. Then Ethers, that is basically an interface for the UI, basically a library for the Web3, for the good front-end Web3 front-end developers. And then WAGMI. So can you repeat this library? What does it do? WAGMI?
Yeah, WAGMI. So generally, if you were trying to interact with a contract, anything on the blockchain, you would have to basically code it all out yourself and make that setup for users to be able to use the contract on your app. What WAGMI does is it creates hooks for you. So you can do something like use contract, and then you can get the information of the contract, and you can do actions to it. So you can send transactions, use different RPC methods, and it just does it in a very clean and concise way. So it makes a lot of sense. And we can also take a look at, let me see if this is still, you can also take a look at the WAGMI.
Yes, it's basically a React hook library.
Exactly. Right. So let me take a look at their actions. So you can see all these actions that we have access to: connect, disconnect, fetch balance, fetch block. Everything here, you're going to have access as well in Web3modal. So this makes it super convenient that you don't have to write that as a developer. It already comes with the package. So let's go back into terminal. We can CD into that new project that we just created. And let's also copy these dependencies and install them.
Nice, nice. So this is the Quickstart, right? So we are doing now going through the basic example. Probably in the future we can also do something more advanced. But here we really want to focus on the basics, on the logic, on what's going on here. So yes, nice. Amazing. You're using npm right here, because you can use npm or yarn. You're using npm.
Yeah, personally, right? I'm using npm, but you can also use yarn. And the way you would use yarn is you can tap yarns, and then you have the dependency script for yarn. So whatever one you prefer to use.
I use npm too, so it's okay.
So I'm going to just copy this and use import line here. Go back to iTerm, and then now you can open up your project in your favorite code editor. I'll be using VS Code. Just make this large here. And let's get to app.js. And let's also run the project. I always like running the project as like a sanity check to make sure everything's loaded fine. So if anything gets broken after the fact, we can fix that.
Okay. So, I don't know if you can make the font maybe just a bit bigger, but just one by one, I think. Okay, because usually, so in the live streams, people can also watch this, I don't know, from the phone, from a tablet, I don't know. So it's let's make it more accessible as usual. So this is a basic React app, right?
Exactly.
So
yeah, this is anytime you create a new React app, this is kind of what you're looking at. And so let's go back into the code, and we can just remove everything within that first app. And let's just create an H1 tag, and we'll call this Web3modal live stream. And so you see the change. This is what we expect. And now we can, let's see. So we can remove this logo. We don't need that anymore. I'm going to paste in all of the imports that we're adding. So let's kind of go through like what's happening here. From the Web3modal Ethereum package, we're going to be importing the Ethereum client, the modal connectors, and the WalletConnect provider. And you'll see a little bit how this actually works in the next step. We'll also be importing the Web3modal component. So this is like the actual QR code that you see whenever we click on a button to connect. And then these are a few of the imports from WAGMI. And again, it'll make a little bit more sense once we actually set it up. And then for the chains, this is actually a pretty neat part here where you can add all the chains you want to be able to connect to on your desk. So I'm going to just add Gorelli because that's generally the one I'm always working with in development, just as a test net. Now we save that. We can go back and shouldn't really expect to see a change. Let's go back to install. And now we can configure the app. So again, we'll just copy this whole block of code, go back into VS Code, and underneath your app function, we'll just paste everything inside. So let's format that a little bit so it looks a little bit cleaner. And yeah, let's go through this line by line. So we're first going to create a const variable, and it's going to be holding all the chains you want your dApp to be able to connect to. So as you notice, I added an extra network in here. So let's make sure we add that to the chain array as well. And next slide. This is where we set up the WAGMI client. So you're going to see that we are grabbing a provider after we configure. And you're going to see that we also need a project ID. So if you've never used WalletConnect, you may not be familiar with what a project ID is, but we can go get one. To get one, we can go to cloud.walletconnect.com. If you don't already have an account, you can just sign up. It'll ask you for an email password, or you can also sign in using a wallet address if that's what you prefer. But I'm going to go back to sign in since I already have an account. I'll sign in. And once you sign in, this is the dashboard that you'll be seeing. We'll want to create a new project. We can call this Web3modal live stream.
Nice.
And then we'll be able to see we can get our project ID like this. So I'm going to copy that, and I'll go back to VS Code. And just for best practices, you always want to make sure you are saving any kind of, private credentials in some sort of environment variable.
Of course.
So the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to create an environment variable file, and I can do that by typing in into my terminal touch.env. Once we have that open, we should see that new file inside. And anytime you're using a React application, you always have to preface any variable name in your environment variable, in your environment file with React app. So we can do that like this. React app, and we'll call this client project ID. And now I'm going to paste in that project ID that I had. I'm going to copy this as well because I just always mess up the name anytime I put that in there.
Yeah, I always copy paste the environment variable. There is not another way to do that if you want to have a easy life, of course.
Exactly. And so I'm going to just create a variable for my project ID so that I don't have to write this entire thing out every time. So project ID is going to be set to that project ID that we just set. And because I'm setting it as the variable name project ID, we don't actually have to do something like this. I mean, you can. This works, but this also works. And I personally prefer this method just because I think it looks a little bit cleaner. And so we can go to everywhere that the project ID is being asked and basically do that same setup. And that's all we have for now. So looking back at that WAGMI client, you can see that the auto connect is set to true. This just means that if you refresh your page, it's going to just auto connect to you and you should be in that same session. For the connectors. So we covered what project ID is. Now let's cover what version is. All right. This is probably the most important thing when setting up this project. In the Twitter spaces, we talked a little bit about how we are going through a migration process at WalletConnect. And that migration process is moving everybody using our V1 sign API to our V2 sign API. Web3modal uses sign API under the hood. And by default, it's going to be set to 1 because we're still in a migration process. However, after June 28th, the version will be set to 2. So for today's example, since we're going to be using MetaMask as the wallet we'll be connecting to, MetaMask is currently on version 1, so we'll keep it at version 1. For the app name, of course, this can be anything you'd like it to be. We can call this Web3modal live stream.
Yeah, I just want to say that we are using Web3modal as a name of the project because this is the live stream showing Web3modal. This doesn't mean that you have to call this project Web3modal. It's just because it's a live stream when our goal is to have a Web3modal. Is that right?
Exactly. Yeah. So if I was actually building a dApp, like I've got some friends building Leafs.it. Actually, let me just check my water bottle here. Yeah. So you can do, actually, you don't have to do like the home domain. So it can just be Leafs, and this is the app name, your project name, whatever it is. And then you'll see that we're passing in the chains that we set up above. So this is how WAGMI is able to know what chains it'll be interacting with. And then the provider that we created from the WAGMI client. So we can save this for now. Oh, and we also have this here. Sorry, the Web3modal Ethereum client. So this is how we'll be setting up the Ethereum client. And we're passing in the WAGMI client as well as the chains. So we go back to the documentation. We got the configuration section. Now let's move to add Web3modal and WAGMI components. So I'm going to just copy everything within these 2 components, everything. And what I'm going to do inside that app div, I'm going to just paste that in. And we don't have a homepage. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just remove this H1 tag and just place it in that config, within that config.
Perfect.
And so we'll see the first thing, we're setting up the WAGMI configuration. We're passing in the WAGMI client that we created on line 19 in as the client, passing in our H1 tag. And then now we're passing in the Web3modal component. And so for project ID, this one, we will have to actually set it. We can't just kind of do it in a nice clean way. So now we're setting project ID to the project ID that we created here on line 12. And the Ethereum client is set to the Ethereum client that we created just on line 31. So if we save this, we still should not be expecting to see anything, but this is kind of what we expect it to look like. Now for the fun part. Now we can add the Web3modal button. So it's just another import component from the Web3modal React package. And then you'll see you can just pass it in as a component. Very simple.
Cool.
So going back to the code, let's go to that Web3modal React package import. We can add Web3 button. And right below, how about we add Web3 button. So now going back to the React page, we should be able to see now that we've got a Connect Wallet button. So we click on it. Let's see what happened here.
Nice. We're doing this live. We're not faking. So let's see what happens.
Let's try this.
Can this be related to maybe to the current network?
So I realized I didn't reset the server. So I created the client ID, I saved it in the environment variable, but I didn't actually restart the server. So I think that was a problem because it was giving me an error regarding the connection. Oh, and there we go. So remember, if you set your environment variables, you do have to reset that server or else your front-end application won't actually be able to read those variables.
Yeah. And I think that the environment variables are read automatically because we created a file called .env, so we actually don't need the .env env package, right?
Correct,
That's the
yeah.
reason. There's a bit of magic behind the scenes of the React application, because usually this is like because we are using a standard, because otherwise would say, why just using a .env file? It's magically it goes on the environment variable, because that's the standard default. So you have to call actually the file .env, right?
Mhm. Yeah. So yeah, we've got the modal popping up. So now let's test it and see if you can actually connect to MetaMask.
Nice.
So see if that works. Awesome. So we're gonna try this burner account. And now we should see that we are connected. So ending in 60CE.
Nice.
And let's see what this looks like.
Very nice.
Same account. And when we click on it, we can actually see that we're on the Ethereum chain. We can
Cool.
copy the address. We're able to disconnect. If we actually click on Ethereum, we're able to change the network from
Wow.
this modal. So let's say you want to try Corelli. The wallet will then ask us, we want to switch the network. We can switch the network, and now it'll show us our balance as well. And this is all using the WAGMI hooks that we kind of looked at earlier, how we can see the balance. So where is fetch balance? So this is what's happening under the hood. It's actually taking all of this information, and that's how we're able to see that balance on the modal. Another kind of cool example I do want to show is I want to connect to my mobile wallet, just because I actually have a ENS domain, and I kind of want to showcase what that looks like.
Okay.
So let me get MetaMask open, which will maybe take like 5 minutes these days.
Why is it slow these days?
It's been, yeah, like you can see how long this takes. It's just like loading. It used to not take this long. Maybe in the last like 2 weeks, it's been pretty slow. But
this is just from mobile.
Yeah, this is just for on mobile. I get this problem, but it seems like it happens to a lot of people. So
I'm curious. I want to test it because I'm curious now, because usually I use it more from the. I want to say.
Yeah.
It's a bit slow.
Mm-hmm. So what I'm doing now. Yeah, MetaMask. So I'm going to open up the modal again, but this time I'm going to scan it using my phone. And so I'm being asked, do I want to connect to the site? I'm going to say connect. And as you can see, this is kind of loading. You see that kind of color formatting. But once it's finished loading, you can see that it resolves my ENS information. Cool. So this is my NFT avatar that I have, and this is my ENS domain, which I think is really cool because, especially with a lot of social apps, you always want to be able to show off people's profile NFTs and their ENS.
Yeah, this is how I found you on Lens Protocol, for example. I knew it was you because of that. Nice, amazing. Also, I'm a fan of this UI style. I like it a lot. And yes, we have a question. I think it was more related to what we did before, so maybe we can read it if that's okay. What determines the network that we can import? Does it depend on the wallet the user is trying to connect, or is it coming from under the hood?
So it all depends on what you set here. So here when we set up chains, the DApp is determining what networks you want to have available.
Yeah, because here we are defining our app, so we decide the network because it's our application, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then the user can select. Yeah.
Yeah. Did that answer your question?
Let's see. Adli. Let's see. Nice. Okay. So are we done with the basic example?
Yeah, basic example is finished. Cool. I also wanted to showcase a little bit of the different theming options that we have.
Now let's showcase stuff. Yes, by the way, yes, it was it was okay. Nice.
Yeah. So from the documentation, so we were on installation. we went through this entire guide here, got to the end. So as you can see with that one page, you can be up and running. Now, if we go into hooks, we can do a little bit more. So this gives you the option if you want to set a default chain. By default, Ethereum mainnet will be the default chain you always log into, which can be a bit of a nuisance if you're trying to, let's say, use Polygon only. It's going to always be asking the user to, oh, do you want to switch to Polygon? And so, of course, you can just avoid that by setting the default chain. And as far as theming, this is where we can work with theming. It's kind of my favorite part. So let's import use Web3modal theme. And it's going to go in that same import line as the button and the modal. And let's just copy this. And I don't think we'll keep this in here because I'm not sure why we actually need that in there, but let's see what happens.
Like that with theme semicolon.
Yeah, just like this. And so let's try. Okay.
Set theme. Let's see. Of course, the colon. Okay, we didn't read the last one. Let's see. So we're trying to import a theme.
Yeah, I think that this needs to be down.
And then we select the theme like this. Okay.
Looks like it does not actually like that.
Let's see.
Yeah, let's see what that looks like.
Theme. Let's read line 17. I don't know if it's actually 17. Let's see. Let's see. Cost. Theme. And then we set the theme. Maybe you can go on the example. Let's see. Ethereum client theme equal theme.
Let's see what actually changed.
Let's see. So we set the theme dark, light orange, blue, white.
All right, I don't think the themes are actually being taken.
Okay.
Let's see.
But is it actually running now?
Yeah, it's running again.
Mm-hmm. Let's see.
Oh, you're right. It's not running.
I mean, yeah, it was not running. Something is already running on port 3000. Let's see. Theme is not defined. Maybe you have to define this. We have to define theme before. No, const theme. Set theme. It seems okay. I think it's where we define the theme. Maybe if you go on the documentation, I think it's the line 15 that it's not working. Maybe we can check the documentation. I can try to.
Let's see. So we are using Web3modal theme here. We're setting the theme. And let's go back to the docs real quick.
Theme, set theme. Wait 1 second. Cost theme. Web3 model theme. Cost theme, set theme. And then we say dark orange and gradient. Import. Did we make the import? Use Web3 model theme.
Yeah, I've got that in there.
Okay. Model theme. Okay, set theme. I don't know. Something is missing, but it says that the theme is not defined.
Yeah.
Maybe. Let me check if I find it. The theme. Web3 model theme. Let me check. There is not that.
Yeah,
Are you sure that you have
basically it works.
it worked? So maybe to just saving. It was already working. Yeah. Okay, so we changed nothing. Okay. Okay. I'll check the live stream
let's see an
later.
example of it.
Then I'll understand. But yeah. Okay. Nice. Okay, so this is the GitHub
example.
repository.
Perfect.
Okay, so this is the GitHub repository. Let's see. yes, this solved by Adli. Okay. And then we export the function. Okay. Export the function, use Web3 model. Okay.
Sorry, this internet's a little funky slow today.
Okay. Trusting the instance of the theme to some const. Let's see. Set theme. Subscribe. New state. Close modal. And then let's see the theme. Theme mode. That's it. Use effect or don't subscribe. Use theme. Here we don't have the theme defined like before.
Yeah.
We have theme model.
Right. Yeah. Let me look for a different example that we might have than the actual Web3modal website.
Yeah, sure. Let's see. Let me check here the poll.
Okay, I think we'll get a good example here. So we're setting the theme up.
So this is the theme colors. Okay. Theme colors on click.
Let me go back here.
Let's see. You should close something. Okay. Let's see. 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 Let Const theme. Here, for example, it doesn't type a theme semicolon. Just const theme equal, and then set theme. No?
Let's see. Okay. I was hoping I'd be able to find like a kind of more of a straightforward example of the theme being used.
Yes, this is basically just an example.
Yeah. So
Maybe
let's go
try
back to this.
Okay. What's the error here?
Our theme is not defined.
But is it running? Sorry for the dumb question. In the terminal. If you go on the terminal.
Go in the terminal.
The terminal in VS Code. Okay. If you try to remove the theme semicolon, maybe if you remove this now, is it working or not? No.
I'm not defining it anywhere else, right?
Yeah, when you say const theme set theme.
Yeah, just there.
Yeah. Now, no. What's the error now? Can you go back on the website?
Mhm.
If you refresh, same error. Okay, line 43. Go on the VS Code part. Line 43. Let's see. Did you define the theme here? No.
Let me just restart the server for like a.
Theme is assigned but never used. Interesting. It's assigned value but never used. Never used.
Oh, oh my gosh, we were on a different one. The theme is being
We're on
applied.
a wrong port. So there is a rule that it's always the configuration, the port, or the DNS. These are the only 3 possible errors if you debug for more than 5 minutes. And in this case, it was the port. So, okay.